So here we are, part 2. Again, I want to remind everybody, please share, like, talk about all these things that I'm talking about in these videos because we need to talk about them. We need to get it out there. We need Republicans to be held accountable, and we need to show what they are doing. So I'm going to move on to immigration. The border crisis is a huge fucking thing right now, right? You see the Republicans constantly talking about Joe Biden, open border policies. He's letting all the illegals in and all these things. If you remember, not too long ago, very couple weeks ago, actually, the Senate came together and did a bipartisan border deal. Democrats and Republicans came together. And Republicans got like everything they were asking for in this border deal. And Joe Biden's like, yep, get it to my desk, and I will sign it. Well, Donald Trump gets word of this border deal, and he realizes, I can't let them fix the border. I have to be able to run on that against Joe Biden. So what does he do? Calls up Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House. And I put air quotes because we all know Donald Trump is actually Speaker of the House. But, so he calls him up and says, hey, you need to kill this deal because I got to be able to run on it. And he has admitted that he killed this deal. So it's not me speculating. It's not Democrats speculating. Donald Trump admitted to it. And other Republicans came out and said they were threatened that if they didn't kill this bill, that they would make their life a living hell. So they kill the border deal. And then what do they start doing? They start going on X saying the border crisis, Joe Biden doesn't care. He needs to do an executive order. Well, we need funding for the border. We need funding to do all these things. And so, yeah, they're on Twitter or X talking about all this. What does Mike Johnson do? He sends everybody on a 2-week vacation. Goes down to Mar-a-Lago, talks to Donald Trump. Don't know what they were talking about, but probably secret stuff that they don't want other people knowing. So anyways, they're on vacation, still on X, talking about the border crisis. Well, recently a young woman was murdered. And I want to start off by saying first, this is very sad that she was murdered, and my heart goes out to her family. And it's just a terrible thing that happened. And she was killed by an illegal immigrant. And what are Republicans doing? They are exploiting her murder and going on X and saying, like Marsha Blackburn, I've seen Marjorie Taylor Greene, I've seen Ted Cruz, all talking about the murder of this girl that was killed by an illegal immigrant. And they're saying this would have never happened if it wasn't for Joe Biden's open border policies. Joe Biden is not responsible for the death of this girl. It's the guy that killed her. Yes, he was here illegally. Let's back up to 2018. I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to try to exploit their names. You can go find these names out by yourself. July 2018, a young girl was murdered, University of Iowa. She was murdered by an illegal immigrant. 2018, Donald Trump was the president, right? So why? Same exact situation. Joe Biden's in president. Young girl was killed by an illegal immigrant. Donald Trump president. Young girl killed by an illegal immigrant. Not one Republican was like, oh, this is on Donald Trump. Donald Trump has blood on his hands. Not one thing. What did they do? They went and blamed it on the Democrats. Donald Trump was the fucking president. And if it's so easy for the president to just do an executive order and fix the border, why didn't Donald Trump do it? Because he doesn't fucking care. He used that girl's death because an election was coming up. And he wanted to prepare for the next election. cycle. So he had to scare people, be like, hey, you know, these open borders, these Democrats, yet he was the president of the United States. Same thing as what's going on, like I said. So they're using these immigration and all these people coming in, all these bad people coming into the country, and they're all going to kill you. And how are you going to defend them, which moves on to my next point, without your Second Amendment right? One of the most important things that Republicans care about, number one thing, I will say it's the number one thing that they care about, is their Second Amendment right. They are convinced, because Republicans told them, that Democrats want to take their guns away. They have never said that. They have said that they want to ban certain types of guns, like assault rifles, which are used to kill mass quantities of people. And that is the type of gun that a lot of these mass shootings are happening. And you know, the Republicans, they just care about the lives of our American citizens so much that they send out their thoughts and prayers every time. And they say, this is such a tragedy. Thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers. But no, they don't want to do any legislation, do any kind of bans, nothing. Why is that? Because the NRA is giving them money. And the NRA is like, hey, if they start doing legislation or start banning some guns, we're going to lose some money. And we care more about our money than we do than the thousands and thousands of kids that are killed, which is one of the number one leading causes of a child's death is guns. And so the NRA is like, we can't let that happen. And so now Republicans have to go out and start lying and convince you that your Second Amendment right is going to be taken away by the Democrats. And so they use that fear to get votes, and they say you can't vote for them because of this. But the real fear is that what I think we really need to be fearing is that Republicans don't want to do anything about these mass shootings that are happening. By the way, they're not happening by illegal immigrants. They are citizens of the United States, and they are typically Republican white men that are doing these mass shootings. But kids are afraid to go to school. They're afraid. Anytime anybody is somewhere and they hear a pop, I've been in public and I heard a pop one time, and everybody looked up and was a little nervous. And Republicans, they don't care. What their answer is we just need more guns. And they create these laws that, like for instance, in Missouri, you can carry. And the NRA is paying them to do this because their answer is more guns. The answer to solve this is more guns. This is what they're saying. That means more guns equals more money for the NRA, more money for the Republicans because they're being paid off. And so like, for instance, in Missouri, like I said, they can carry. And at the Chiefs parade, don't recall a gun stopping the people that were trying to shoot and kill people. They were tackled. And so the guns didn't help in that situation. So like I said, on this video, we've talked about the guns and immigration and how they like to put the two together to try and scare Republicans. And like I said, Republicans are easily manipulated. So we're going to go on to the next thing.